Welcome back to the channel. We've got a hot one for you today. How to learn to code quickly and easily. Roll it.
Oh, I can have bacon for lunch, right? Yeah.
Now that we're fed, hydrated, we've got the energy level up, let's mosey on down to the Dimension Software Studio where all the magic happens. I'll see you in 3, 2, and 1. Okay. The first major thing here, it's something you either have it or you don't. Attention span. Those people who are able to, for a long duration of time, sit behind a computer and work efficiently, minimizing all distractions, minimizing everything from the outside world, these are going to be the people who are able to learn how to write software most quickly. Already, your brain's wired to these kind of natural abilities to focus. This is what's going to bode you super well, especially early on when you're really learning to program and you're picking up a programming language and you're really trying to run with it, solve some simpler problems, build onto like larger problems. You know, it works pretty much like Legos, I would say. Someone, you know, who has that attention span is going to be able to start with a couple Legos, build a little bit of a larger piece to that castle, and then finish up the drawbridge and then add a couple turrets, etc. If that's you, and you can sit behind the computer for more than a few hours at a time, congratulations. Well, let's go rolling into the second point. What programming language should you start with? The answer is clear. It's the programming language that has the highest versatility, the programming language that can be slipped into really anything, whatever it is you're choosing to build, even early on with smaller projects. A community that has a vast, growing, larger community surrounding it, building all kinds of open source goodies and all kinds of projects that you can not only analyze the source code yourself, how are these other people who've been programming for a longer period of time programming? How are they writing the software? How are they solving these problems? You're going to want that large community mindset. It's only going to help you. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. For the visual learners out there, my kind of learners, maybe you wish to go the more traditional route. People are always talking every year about front end. My goodness, how much more powerful this grows every single year. And back end. Now, one key advantage of using JavaScript is that both of these, the front end and the back end, can be written in the same programming language. Oftentimes this back end is going to be in Node.js, and this front end can also be written in JavaScript. And what that means to you is that we find about 20% of the code can be shared between the front end and the back end. And that means that for every bug you have, for every feature you have, you're going to have 20% fewer lines of code. That's 20% less code that has to be fixed, 20% code that can be more consistent between the front end and the back end. Most of these shared functions, this 20%, they're going to be pure functions. Pure functions are just simply functions that take input and provide output without effects. Pure values. Okay, what else? iOS and Android. Again, another massive win for JavaScript because this and this, through something like reactnative, both can be targeted with a singular code base. Since you have a singular code base here and everyone knows JavaScript, you're not going to have two separate teams, one for iOS and one for Android. That means that you can show the same amount of progress with a much smaller team. You can have much more forward velocity with fewer engineers, especially when you're just kickstarting your own startup. This is something that you might care about. Let's get real fancy. Bzzz, drone fancy. This is a drone. You've got your front end, your back end, you've got your iOS and your Android applications. What might you want to do with these? Well, controlling this drone from your front end, your back end, or from maybe your application, and you could do it real time with a WebSocket, right? So now you have JavaScript top to bottom, controlling your drone real time, either through the web or through an app. What are you going to do next? You're going to want to kickstart your first project. Choose a small, simple project. This is something that you can very easily, because especially early on when you're kind of moving through a lot of these like frictional things, just learning how to set up variables, how to save, data, maybe even just the separation between data and code and kind of these little differences, these little nuances. You're going to want to choose something that's achievable. This is crucial. I know that many of you will start, maybe you sit down for a duration of a few hours and you're not able to solve whatever it is that you had in your head, something, some cool idea, something that you're trying to build, and then you give it up for a day. And then a day becomes a week becomes a month, and now you've kind of dropped the ball. You're going to want to pick something very simple, maybe even trivial, just so that you get that little energy boost once you've come to completion. Choose something that you can instantly feel proud of, and time box a week or so. Figure that if this is something you can start on a Monday, finish up on a Thursday, then when it comes to Friday, go ahead and audit yourself with a little bit of a code review. Conduct a little personal retro. What worked? What didn't work? What did you learn? What were the most efficient ways, the most efficient tactics and techniques and things that you did that did work out? And what didn't? And see, already by doing this, you're getting in that professional mindset, that software engineering mindset, that mindset that drives all of this, regardless of skill level. See? What are you going to do? You're going to make sure that your personality aligns with software engineering. You're going to need to sit down in front of a computer for hours at a time to solve challenging problems. And these problems, they're going to become more challenging. The larger things, the larger foundation you're able to build, and the larger solutions you're able to solve, you're going to need even more time behind the computer. You're going to start with JavaScript because it's the most versatile, has the largest community. There's just so much you can do with it, so much impact you can have, and it's one programming language. You're going to kickstart your first project. You're going to choose something very simple in the interest of moving forward and just really getting that gratification, that like instant dopamine hit that's like, hey, I started with nothing and I was able to build this little small thing. Some quick ideas that I'm just going to throw out here for you. Web pages, to-do apps, they're all a little bit played out. Why not go dive right into a native app, something that you can feel, get a little bit of tactile sense of the app in your hand. Maybe a simple idea like open up a camera, take a photo, and just transpose some text on it. Maybe you can solve that in a day, maybe 2 days. Either way, it's going to be something fun. You can show your friends. You could even try and pop it in the App Store. Ooh, now you can share it with your friends. Hey, how cool would that be? Why not create a pictogram, make a native app that just takes a bunch of photos from someone's camera roll and combines them together on one screen? Boom, maybe it even takes a screenshot of that screen and you can share it with your friends. Ooh, extra points. Kudos. Another idea for an app. This one's a little bit more advanced, but hey, why not build your first Node.js server and your first Node.js client and connect it with a WebSocket? There are already frameworks that you can go install that are going to do this for you. Why not go through the motions, set them up? Sapper's one that we really love, and it's something that we've got additional videos set up on how to do this. Just another idea. So awesome seeing you back as always. Catch you in the next one. Until then, out!